Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome to Harper College Management 160 Supervision, Principal Supervision. And today we're going to be talking about your research papers requirement. First of all, you're going to go into Blackboard, and if you look at Blackboard, most of my papers and submittal and everything else is done similar, it's just the main focus. So you're going to come into Blackboard, and you're going to go under where it says research requirement. You click on that, and you're going to get this in here. We have a concept map I'll talk about a little bit later. But let's just go real quickly to see what we have in here. Your paper is right in here. Let's see if I can just make this a little bit bigger. Plus, it's not making it bigger. Let's see. Okay, we're stuck in that because we're recording. But anyway, so you're going to click on here. It says Research Critical Analysis Instructions. And now I have this both in a PDF file, and they're all in a PDF file, so it's easier for you to read. And then you'll have the research, the rubrics, so you see what you're going to be graded, how I'm going to be grading you on this within this paper. And then you also have an Excel sheet of the rubrics for those who want it. Okay, now at the bottom here, before I go on, there's a template for your research paper. When you click on this template, I have a PDF file, which is just a picture. It's a picture of a document file, for lack of better words. And I also, here I gave you the regular Word document file. So if I click on this one, and I open this up, and it's open up in Microsoft, you'll see it. What it basically does, I set up the format. So the format's set up where you just add in your name here, the name of the company, the project, your name, and then basically gives you some instructions. And here's the 7 headers that I'm required. So you could just put it in there, and then introduction, you'd enable this like this. And then you put your name, whatever you want to put in here, and then when you go into your introduction, you would do the typing, right? And then you would save it as. Now remember, if you had to do any kind of a citation, which is required for this paper, when we get into that, introduction, impact, the situational analysis, recommendations, these are all the 7 headers. I'll talk a little bit about what's required in the paper. But since I already have you and we're already in here and in the Word document, not playing around, when you do your references, you'll go in here, you'll select APA, and 6th edition is the most current, and you'll basically see if I want to do a reference, and I'll go and let's see, I'll just put it in here. I'm making this up, don't mess up on the paper. And I'm going to say I want to insert a citation, a new source, and I'm going to do an interview, and the interview name is Dr. George. I interviewed this person about one of the issues that I'm trying to find out. One of the major problems, if you look at your research paper, is going to be a managerial first line or a supervision problem that's current now, and how I could address that problem, because that problem is most likely a problem in the company that I'm researching. Okay, and then I have the title, and so I'm the interviewee. I'm just going to do myself, George. Okay, I'm just going to show you what you do. So when you select this in here with the citation or bibliography, what it basically does is when you do it for interview, it'll tell you everything that you need. If you're going to do something like different for a website or a document from a website, once you click on that, what's going to tell you, here's what I'm going to need to put in that. So you don't have to worry about what's required and how it sets up. It does it for me. I'm just going to go back to the interviewer, so it'll be the easiest one for me, because you could interview someone as a citation. I got Dr. George. And the year I'm interviewing, so today I'll go 2005. I'll go, it's March, whatever it is, and let's say 2015. I just throw that in there. March or July, whatever date you want to put in there. Oh, you got the month in here. So here you go, whatever, just go, you could do, go May, I don't know. Date and everything else. So then you basically set this up. And once you have all this, and it says show all bibliography of fields, you could do that in there, and you tag it, and then here's how it's going to go. See, it's going to go with George, and I've got 15. Let's see here. I don't need the May, that's why I messed it up. Okay, and here I go, and I go okay. And what you're going to see, it's going to put in the my source and the year. APA, American Psychological Association, is utilized in business and a lot of other fields because I want to look at the date, how current the data. In business, I'm only looking within the last 5 years unless I'm doing something for history, for historical trends or baseline. I need to have the most current because I'm going to be applying it. So when you're looking at your research, I'm looking for the last 2 years. What are the major problems in the last 2 years that's affecting management, supervision, whatever. It could be diversification, it could be a lack of training, it could be virtual training, and we'll talk about that. Okay, so are we all set on this? So this is what this is the topic does. You have that all set up, so I'm going to just close this. And I'll move this out of the way, minimize this, and I'll just close this. Don't save because I don't want not to save. So here's what you're going to need. Each student, you're going to be required to prepare a 2,400 word count, approximately 7 or 8 pages. I'm not looking at how many pages you have. I'm looking at word count, and I'm not including your citations or any kind of notes or anything else. It's looking at pure word count, and it's usually about 300 words per page, and that's basically, and what will you be writing your paper about. And then here you'll be writing current management issues, managing employees, retaining employees, virtual work teams, managing in a global environment. Anything that you've read in the Supervision book, the 16 chapters or 13, I can't think off my mind. Any of those chapters, they're the main chapter or the sub-chapters. If you could find current problems in business that would relate to a company or something else that you can contrast, and how you're going to resolve it, and how this issue is a problem and why it's a problem that should be addressed within these organizations, and your recommendations, it's fair game. And what you'll be doing in one of the forums, most likely early, you're going to pick up a topic, and you're going to place that topic in a form, and we're going to just discuss it. Or if you're taking me on a face-to-face class and you're using the same video, you basically will do the same thing. You'll pick the topic in a form, and we'll discuss it in what do you call it, in the classroom. Students are to incorporate, utilize concepts, theories contained within the textbooks, along with any outside things. And here, incorporate, I'm looking at least and utilize at least 35 concepts. I'll put that in here right now. I'll save this. 35 concepts or vocabulary. There's 7 different headers. You're going to be requirements. Within there, you figure 5. You'll have more than enough. Just look at the end of the chapter within the book. What gives you credibility, what gives you a way of taking what you've learned, read, and discussed and solidified is now that I'm using it as vocabulary in my everyday words. That shows me credibility. That shows me, hey, this person knows when I'm talking to another supervisor, another manager, he or she could say, oh, they understand this. I'm talking about affirmative action and not diversification. Are they the same? No, they have a different meaning and a different take to it. I'm talking about managing cultural differences. Oh, is it ethnicity? No. Cultural differences could be engineering. It could be sales. It also could be different cultures from different countries. But you have to look at different. I'm going to be analyzing baby boomers versus what do you call it, Generation Y or Generation Z, the new generations coming in here. Okay, so you'll have this, and you'll post that in. If you're doing this through a forum, I do not want to see the first post that if I'm doing one on diversity or what do you call it, it's fine. You have to highlight what aspect of diversity you're going to be talking about. Another person, if they see that's already been taken, you have to find another topic. There's a lot of topics. There's a lot of things about diversity. You type in diversity and you find a lot, okay? So you have this. You'll be using double 12-point font, double spacing, in-text citation. That means where if you're citing somebody, I want it right there, not at the back. I'm not going to check it. I want to see that you've cited that already. For assisting, collecting papers, contact Harper Lab. Okay, any report of plagiarism, because I'm going to run this through a safe assignment. It's going to check it for plagiarizing. I want your own work. And I'm looking at it. If you're taking other people's information, fine. If they're cited, I have no issue. But if I catch the 10% of the work that you have there is from somebody else and you haven't cited them properly, or the whole paper has been plagiarized, you lose the whole 150 points, and you'll be. I'll have to submit a write-up to the student affairs, and they'll basically deal with that because that's stealing somebody else's work. I don't mind you doing it this time. Basically taking other work, you just have to cite it and make sure. But I don't want the whole paper all citation, everybody else work, and you have maybe nothing that your own input into the paper. So you're gonna have the introduction, the impact. How does this issue impact management today? You're gonna do analysis and follow the rubrics. So that takes care of the rubrics. And I'll go save. So I'm all set on that. Now you also have the rubric. How are you gonna be rubrics? I'm gonna open up the rubrics, and I have that in a PDF file. And if I look at the rubrics here, it's a little hard to see, but you'll be able to see. It's going to look at the purpose, the content of the paper, and then I have the grading. Excellent organization, the tone is consistency, sentence structures, you're at a college level, word choice is consistent, you have the vocabulary looking, grammar, spelling, and everything else, and that's how you're going to be graded utilizing this rubrics, okay? And you can print that out so you kind of know, what do I do? I can't do that. Something happened, I'm stuck on here, so I just minimize that, so I get rid of it later, okay? And then you have the feasibility, and now I want to just show you one thing. So that's how you do the paper. I'm looking for the 7 things. Now, for a real quick overview, instead of doing auto writing, I've created a concept map, and I created that in what do you call it, PDF file, and it should open up. But I already have one already created here for you. There it is. If I'm looking at it, it has everything else there. No duplication of topics, general information. Let me make this a little bit larger. I'll go like about 200 so you can see. It'll be easier to look at this. I'll go over, and it's everything we talked in the written documentation, 35 words, textbook along with any outside resources. I only wanted to see us, you're supposed to be citing 8 outside resources, and it could be an interview, it could be some information from some government site. It doesn't all have to be academic site peer reviews. It could be, you're looking from business, so you may not have anything written about it from an academic standard, like if you've been taking it from an English class, but anything as long as you cite it. It could be some websites, it could be like another company's websites that you're referencing, okay? Must include the following headers, and I have them listed. Papers to be completed as a Word document, submitted to me as a Word document, not a PDF file. A PDF file. I need a Word document. I put my comments, everything in on there. Must contain in-text citations. If you cite it, it has to be right in there and submitted in Blackboard, and we'll show you how to do that. The topics, only 1 members, and these are just example. Virtual work teams, managing global environment required. Introduction is basically the executive summary that tells me about this. The executive summary introduction is the first thing you read, but it's the last thing you write. You have to write the whole thing and then tell me, summarize it in a nutshell. So I'd say, I understand what he or she is trying to accomplish here in 1 or 2 paragraphs. Okay, and then impact. How does this issue impact management today? What's the significant relevance in the practice of management? And then you go to this number 2. These are all headers and situation analysis. Compare and contrast how this. Let's see how this issue impacted at least 2 different businesses or organization. Create a pro and con a comparison between the 2 businesses, and you're going to say, here's one business that did it and one business that didn't, and here's what happened. And or it could be, this is why we are going to incorporate this into our business, because we see what's happening, and the trend is businesses don't incorporate diversification, don't incorporate virtual aspect or virtual training, will have a harder time being competitive in the future. That's how you compare and contrast. So, but you have to have 2 businesses to compare and contrast. Or you could use it as a baseline, and here's my baseline, and here's how we started, and now that we implemented this, and now I'm comparing what we were as an old business compared to what we are having as a new business. That's just another way of still achieving the same goals with comparing and contrasting if you don't have 2 separate companies, but the same company, and you're implementing. And this is what you would do as a first-line supervisor. Here's where we're at now. I found out here's an issue because I've been doing this. I've taken this to the next step. I've got an action plan, a way of implementing this with my teams, working with my teams, and after a 3-month period, here's what I expect to see, or here's what the results are. So, but here's where I started, and I see an improvement, or I see nothing change. That means I have to do more tweaking, more working, because the action plan I had kept it neutral or went up very slightly. I want to see a great increase, or it went down negatively. That means I'm going the wrong direction. Somebody has interpreted the plan that didn't work the way it had, so I go to my contingency plan that we'll be learning in the class. I have my main plan that we all agreed on. If that doesn't work, I don't reinvent the wheel. I take other parts that didn't work from my plan B or my plan C. That's all contingency plans are, and then I put it in. Remember, when you create a plan, you have a lot of things, and you try to put up plan to the best way, but then you have several plans. Management does not want to see just one plan. You want to see A, B, and C, and let them select. Usually the way you package it, they'll select a plan that makes more sense, that has a higher return, either or a higher outcome, a positive outcome I'm looking for. Then you give the recommendation, what changes need to be made to change or improve the issues. Then you implement it, so you can tell me who's going to implement it, what's the time frame, who's going to be the person chairing, who or what department's going to implement it, you know what I mean? And then basically at the end you're going to summarize it. How did this work out? What did you learn? You're going to have a personal reflection. A personal reflection is after I've done it, did I feel good? I said, you know, we have a time limit and now it's all finished. If I would have had more time in this class, you know, just look at it that way. If I had more time, because I had a due date. Remember, in supervision, everything else, everything is tied in on a due date. What date is it due? Not when I want it, when is it due? So let's say I got it all done because the due date was a short time. It's a fire I was putting out, or it was in this class, it's 18, what do you call it, 8-week, 9-week class. You're taking me in the summer class or in the fall, it's a condensed class, and it basically what's happening is that I may not have enough time. So after you've done this, you made your recommendation, your personal reflection, you're going to come into personal reflection and say, if I would have done this again, after doing all this research, I would have focused in more on the research data. I would have focused in more on different companies. I would have looked more at this aspect. And that's your personal reflection. So remember, a lot of times we do work and we do our best work, and then after it's done and then you submit it or you're presenting it, you figure, I wish I would have done this, or I found that. And that's how you learn. And reflection is the learning of what I've done. Because if I don't reflect, going forward, I will know what should I change. If everything worked out good, my reflection is this is perfect. But now the environment changes. I got a different audience. I have new rules that come in, or my boss wants a different twist, or approach in a different market. So I got different kind of employees coming in because I'm now promoting or developing a different product or whatever. So when I'm looking at that, that's why the reflection is important, and we should be always looking at it after we complete every project. Okay, now references, APA citation and text, or wherever you're going to reference it, I want it there. I want to know it now. Not that it's, and you don't have to, if you're not referencing it verbatim, but you're pulling it in because you're looking at some data, I want to know where that data came in from. And in bibliography at the end, Microsoft Word will just, when you send me the file, make sure it opens up. And if not, if I had the file, I usually look for it, because sometimes students forget to click on it, because you could hide the bibliography and the references, or you can leave it open. If I have the file the way you send it, I'll be able to open up and find it. Okay, and use apprentices, charts, and theoretical models, anything else you want to add to it. So that basically is in a nutshell your presentation. Okay, so we have everything. Now the last thing I want to do, let me just close this off right here, this one here, cancel, and let's go into Blackboard. Now I'm going to submit the paper. When I submit the paper, it's going to be in a Word document. It's a business class. If you have Mac or anything else, it has, make sure you save it as a Microsoft Word. If you're using Google Word, something else, make sure it's saved as a Microsoft Word document, not as an RTF file. So what you're going to do, we're going to go on our weekly assignments. And this one here, I'm going to go all the way at the end. I'm going to go with the different assignments. I'm going to go turn in, and the dates could change. I just never updated it. And it's just here, research assignment. So you're going to click it in here. That's where you're going to go in there. It's going to be open. It's going to tell you how many points. It's going to have a rubrics attached to it. And right here it says test. Write submission or browse attached. You could do either one. You could write the submission in here, cut and copy, and paste it all in here. And you could turn that off. Or you could browse my computer, and you could just select it where you want it and put it, click it on here, go like this, and now you have it, and you agree to submit my paper to global reference data. You have to agree it, or the paper's not going. That means it's going to be checking it for plagiarism. And once you submit it, it goes through there, and then I will check it, and I agree it, and I check it, and I submit it, and You see how it's done? I do not want you to put the paper in the comments here. I can't grade it. The comments is here. Say, Dr. George, I submitted everything. Thanks a lot. It goes right in here. Write submission. Remember? Put it in here. 2 different places. Here is just your comment. I put it in there. When it comes in here, write submission, and you cut and paste it from a Word, Microsoft Word, I'll be able to audit, add my comments and edit it and put everything else. When you get your paper back, it makes sense to you. You know, here's what he liked, here's what he didn't like. Or if you put it as a Word document, it's still going to allow me. I'd rather have you put it as a Word document. It's easier. You have the file. I don't have to open up the file, but it'll automatically open up. I could do my comments and send it back to you. All right? So that's about it. That's everything else you need to know. And I'll go, okay, I see what it does to me. It may, submission assignment is not saved, and that's okay. And I go submit, and I'm finished. Yes, and I'm done. And it's canceled. It won't, because I'm the instructor. I can't save myself on that. All right? So you have everything you want to know. Remember, you're going to go into the research paper, everything you need in there. You're going to have this short YouTube you're reaching in there. And you have all the different files, and either in a Word document or a PDF file. One doesn't open up, click the other one, the same title. One's a PDF, just a picture. The other one is the actual document, so you could just add in there, you know, the templates easier and build on that. And then later on, I'll have everything else for PowerPoints, real easy. It'll be submitted through the same process like this real quickly. Or remember, in the submittal on some of the PowerPoints, if you want, I will allow you, in lieu of the PowerPoints, when you go in here, remember where it says to submit the paper? I was just thinking about that, research paper. I will let you to submit your PowerPoints as a YouTube. If you have YouTube, when you go to the camera, let's go real quickly since I have to go in here. Where does it say research paper? Oh, we're in our weekly assignment, remember? When you coming in here all the way at the end and you're submitting and you're coming in here, you don't have to, don't freak out. This is just something that I'm thinking about out loud. When it says browse my submittal, right, where it says in here, write my submission, you could write it in here, and you could also click it in here, and it's going to ask you, do you want to go unable to retrieve it? You could go, I think you could go record. Hold me back on that. That's just for the thing. All you have to do is submit it in a paper. If those who want to record something on the PowerPoints, not on this paper, I have another one for the PowerPoints, let me know. Otherwise, that's everything you need here is in your weekly assignment. You'll submit it in there, and we're done. That is, in a nutshell, maybe hopefully in only 10 minutes, how do you submit your paper, what is required from a research paper. You have everything here. You have my concept maps to the PDF. Pull it out. It's easier. You keep that. You just add on here, and then basically you'll be submitted as a Word document. 2,400 words. Comes out about 8 pages, utilizing APA formatting. And I give you a hint. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and this is Management 160, your research paper that will be due. And later on, I have a real short thing on your PowerPoint. If you do in a presentation, I don't think you need it. Most people will do very well. And I'll see you back online or in my face-to-face class for further discussion. Bye.